So we had case one, can organizations train diversity? Summary of the case. Basically, it starts off saying that there's this renewed push for police departments and public safety departments to implement better or improved diversity training programs in the wake of several cases of using excessive force against minority groups. Um, and it gives a couple examples of those. Now, then it shifts to, are diversity trainings actually effective? Um, so there were 250 independent studies done, and basically the response by people who've gone through diversity training is that overall there was a positive reception to the diversity training, and there was a change in how they thought about diversity, but it affected their behavior to a lesser degree. So it changed how they thought about diversity, but it didn't change their behavior when it comes to diversity. Um, Also, then the case shifts to, there are people who don't believe that diversity training is actually effective. One of those people being a behavioral economist, Daniel Kahneman. Basically, he says that um, we're fundamentally overconfident, and we're hardwired to make snap judgments and quick decisions, and no amount of diversity training is going to change that because we're just wired to do that. So diversity training is not going to change that in any aspect. So that's why it's not effective, in his opinion. Um, but the thing is that companies, organizations are really looking to implement diversity training programs to promote equity and positive interactions amongst their employees. So that's how the case finishes up. Basically, companies want to do it because they want to promote equity and positive interactions. So, how does diversity training look today? What's the update of it? So, now, as you may have, as you may know, diversity is huge, and the investment in diversity training programs is equally as big. But the shift has research is showing that the shift is going from just blanket diversity trainings to very targeted diversity trainings, and it's targeted to your company, your situation, your employee base. So two examples, two perspectives, or two types of diversity trainings. One being perspective taking. So perspective taking is basically the mental process of walking in someone else's shoes. So walking in the shoes of a marginalized people. So you kind of think through their experiences, go through that whole process. Another one is goal setting. That one is setting specific, measurable, and challenging yet attainable goals um, related to diversity in the workplace. So an example of that would be speaking up whenever you hear like inappropriate jokes, things of that nature. So research in diversity training and just macro is showing that in order for diversity training to be effective, we need to move away from just a blanket approach of diversity training to targeting it to your employee base, your organization, and your goals. Also, it needs to be something that is a company-wide thing, not just specific to um, a department or anything like that. Also, research shows that diversity training works better when it's implemented over a period of time instead of being these one-off situations. So if it's just a situation where you have just a seminar, it's more than likely not going to work, and it's going to be a waste of your time and your employees' time. But if it's implemented in different forms throughout the organization, um, whether it be every quarter, every couple months, something of that nature, then it's going to yield better results. And that's pretty much how the research is across the board. How diversity is. It's moving away from that blanket approach of diversity training to kind of targeted diversity training um, across the entire organization over long periods of time.